In a major, unprecedented move, the State Department has declared Antifa a foreign terrorist organization, but specific international Antifa arms. This is massive. This means that the U.S. government can now start tracking their finances, blocking finances. They can get search warrants, FISA warrants. This is big. If it turns out that these international organizations are involved with American organizations, it is going to have repercussions in these United States. From the post-millennial, Andy No reports, the U.S. just declared war on Antifa's international arms. Here's what you need to know. Well, we have the actual posts from the Department of State. As of November 13th, 2025, designations of Antifa, OST, and 3 other violent Antifa groups as foreign terrorist organizations, FTOs. Massive. The State Department says, today the Department of State announces the designation of Antifa, OST, Informal Anarchist Federation, International Revolutionary Front, Armed Proletarian Justice, and Revolutionary Class Self-Defense as specially designated global terrorists, and the intent to designate all 4 groups as foreign terrorist organizations effective November 20th, 2025. Antifa Ost, also known as Antifa East, and Hammerband, is a Germany-based militant group. Antifa Ost conducted numerous attacks against individuals it perceives as fascists or part of the right-wing scene in Germany between 2018 and 2023, and is accused of having conducted a series of attacks in Budapest in mid-February 2023. On September 26, 2025, Hungary declared Antifa OST to be a terrorist organization and added the group to its national anti-terrorism list. FRI is a militant anarchist group. This is Informal Anarchist Federation, an anarchist group that primarily operates in Italy with historical self-proclaimed affiliates across Europe, South America, and Asia. They declare the necessity of the revolutionary armed struggle against the nation states and the fortress Europe. Since 2003, they've claimed responsibility for threats of violence, bombs, and letter bombs against political and economic institutions. Armed Proletarian Justice is a Greek anarchist and anti-capitalist group that has attempted and conducted improvised explosive device attacks against Greek government targets. Armed Proletarian Justice claimed responsibility for planting a bomb near the Greek riot police headquarters in Goudi, Greece, December 18th, 2023. And finally, Revolutionary Class Self-Defense, a Greek anarchist and anti-capitalist group. The group links its actions to broader political and social issues and cites opposition to capitalist structures. They claim responsibility for 2 IED attacks targeting Greece, the Ministry of Labor in February of 2024, and the Hellenic train offices in April of 2025. They go on to say, terrorist designations expose and isolate entities and individuals, denying them access to U.S. financial system and resources they need to carry out attacks. All property and property interests of designated individuals or groups that are in the U.S. or that are in possession of a control of a U.S. person are blocked. U.S. persons are generally prohibited from conducting business with sanctioned persons. It is also a crime to knowingly provide material support or resources to those designated or attempt to conspire to do so. Persons engaged in certain transactions or activities with those designated today may expose themselves to sanctions risk. Notably, engaging in certain transactions with them entails risk of secondary sanctions pursuant to counterterrorism authorities. This is massive, ladies and gentlemen. The repercussions are going to be felt in these United States. This means individuals that are working with these groups are about to feel the heat. Now, we're going to read Andy No's report. Before we do, we got a great sponsor for you. It is Home Title Lock. My friends, the FBI has been warning about a type of real estate fraud on the rise called title theft, and your equity is the target. Here's how it works. Criminals will forge your signature on a single document using a fake notary stamp, file it with the county, and just like that, on record, they own your home. Using your ownership, they can take out loans against your equity or even sell your property, and you won't know about it until foreclosure or collection notices show up in the mail. That's why I've partnered with Home Title Lock so you guys can protect your equity. Find out today if you're already a victim. Use promo code TIM at HometitleLock.com and you'll get a free title history report and a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title records and urgent alerts to any changes. If fraud occurs, their U.S.-based restoration team will spend up to $1 million to fix it. Go to HomeTitleLock.com/Tim, use promo code Tim, and get a free title history report and a free trial of their triple lock protection. Again, you can go to HomeTitleLock.com/warranty for more details. Andy No has the report. On Thursday, the U.S. Department of State announced that 4 international Antifa groups, all based in Europe, have been officially designated as foreign terrorist organizations. It marks the first time in U.S. history that the government has applied this powerful legal designation to any Antifa-aligned network. Today, building on POTUS's historic commitment to uproot Antifa's campaign of political violence, the Department of State is designating 4 Antifa groups as foreign terrorist organizations and specially designated global terrorists, Marco Rubio wrote on X. The U.S. will continue using all available tools to protect our nation from these anti-American, anti-capitalist, and anti-Christian terrorist groups. The foreign terrorist organization label is not symbolic. It is a legal tool under U.S. law. It enables sanctions against individuals associated with the groups, asset freezes, travel bans, and criminal penalties for membership or providing material support. In short, it is now a federal crime to belong to or assist the 4 violent Antifa anarchist groups. This is significant, my friends, because this international network connects them all. The move made by the Department of State right now is empowering the DOJ to basically go after all Antifa. This move at the start will shatter the ties between these groups and their American counterparts who may operate under different names but collude. Now these American organizations are going to have no choice but to back off and shut up. I believe soon they will go after these domestic terrorists, or they'll find those connections. If they find a connection between an American Antifa and these groups, they can link them together. They say, by contrast, domestic terrorism designations in the U.S. are largely symbolic. They instruct agencies like the FBI and DOJ to treat Antifa-linked violence as terrorism, but membership itself remains legal inside the U.S. due to First Amendment protections of association. Last month, Andy No says, when I testified before the president and his cabinet at the White House Roundtable on Antifa, I recommended using FTO designations against Antifa's international arms. The State Department has now started doing that.
At least 3 of these courageous journalists have personally been victims of Antifa attacks. Andy No has been repeatedly beaten by Antifa thugs for his work in Andy is a very serious person, too, I have to tell you. I've been watching him for a long time. Is Andy here? That's what I thought. Hello, Andy. I thought that was you. You're looking better than you do out on those streets, huh? You look much better. It's nice to have you. You feel a little safer here, I think, maybe. Well, not that safe, because you have them. You have to worry about that. But thank you very much. Andy No has been repeatedly beaten by Antifa, and including one assault that left him with a brain hemorrhage.
Thank you, Mr. President and members of the Cabinet. I have a lot of gratitude, and a little bit about my background. I'm born in Portland, Oregon, from there. And growing up, it's always been left-wing, very progressive. And I liked it. It had cafes and artists and those who lived a bohemian lifestyle. And in 2016, I was a graduate student at Portland State studying political science.
We don't need to go through Andy No's life history there, but I do want to show you this tweet from the Daily Beast in context. The Daily Beast says, Saturday Night Live and Portlandia star Fred Armisen says he isn't so sure anyone besides Trump actually believes that Portland is on fire. And I said, ever the expert on Portland because he did a show about it. Actor Fred Armisen says the attempted murder of Andy No and the elevated crime rate are totally fine. This is the game that morons and liberals play. Now, the far left knows that in conflict zones, they are always isolated in key parts of the city. Regular run-of-the-mill liberals and people like Fred Armisen are too stupid to understand this. They think when you watch a movie and there's a war going on, literally everywhere all the time is an active war zone. Andy No was nearly murdered twice by the far-left extremists. They have now attacked many others, and they've been rioting and causing damage in Portland for years. Crime is elevated tremendously in Portland. It's something like, what is it, like 20 times the average or some ridiculous number? Businesses have fled. These far-left extremists have ransacked storefronts and caused massive damage. But no, they're not burning the whole city down. They're just running rampant. And this is a tremendous problem. Trump needs to get a handle on it, particularly when you see videos of people walking around with rifles, pointing them at trucks and ordering traffic around. No, the city's not burning, but psychotic political extremists are attempting to take over, and slowly they are. Now, of course, in Seattle, that communist just won, and it's going to be fun because she's asked how she's going to pay for it. She's like, we'll raise taxes. People are already fleeing these cities. You cannot just tax your way out of your problems. The wealthy people will leave, so they'll raise the taxes on the middle class people, who will then leave, so they'll raise taxes on everybody, and then your city collapses. Now, some argue, well, let them have it. All that's going to happen is these areas will collapse, and the people who remain will get violent. So no, it's not a solution for the rest of us. In the meantime, a major move by the Department of State. I'm for it, and we need to see more. I look forward to seeing what happens next. Smash the like button, share the show. Stay tuned. More to come tonight, and we'll see you all in the next segment.